The hospital waiting room smelled of disinfectant and despair. My mother tore through my medical files with the fury of someone who had just been denied something for the first time in her life. Paper fragments floated around her like confetti at the world's worst party. "You owe her your life, Amara," she screamed. "She's dying, and you're just sitting there being selfish." I stayed in the uncomfortable plastic chair, calm, watching the woman who gave birth to me, whom I hadn't seen in 15 years, destroy the careful records I had brought to explain why I couldn't be my sister's bone marrow donor. Not that she cared about reasons. She never had. "Mrs. Winters," Dr. Patel said firmly, "please stop destroying hospital property. Security is on the way."
Good.
Let them deal with her. Arrest this ungrateful brat for murder, because that's what this is. Caitlyn sat in her wheelchair, pale from chemo but still managing a smirk that had been perfected by age 10, the same expression she wore when she pushed me down the stairs, burned my acceptance letter, or convinced our parents I was unstable and needed to be institutionalized. "I'm not murdering anyone," I said quietly. "I'm just not compatible." "Liar," my father bellowed, his booming voice the same one that had terrified me as a child. "You haven't even taken the test. You're just trying to punish us." I pulled out my phone. The email from the National Marrow Registry glared back at them. I had taken the test 6 months ago. I was not a match. "Then take it again," Mom demanded. "Tests can be wrong. You're her sister. You have to be a match." "That's not how genetics works," Dr. Patel tried to explain, but they weren't listening. They never did. "I'll sign whatever papers you need," I told Dr. Patel, ignoring my family. "The comprehensive genetic panel you mentioned." He nodded, relief evident. "The results would be ready in under an hour." "She's lying," Caitlyn interrupted, weak but still sharp. "Maybe she's been taking drugs to alter the results." "Check her thoroughly, doctor." Even dying, she had to control the narrative. "Some things never change." "That's not possible," Dr. Patel said patiently. "Genetic markers can't be changed by drugs." "Then do the test," I said, rolling up my sleeve. "Let's end this once and for all." As the nurse drew my blood, my mother ranted. 23 years we raised you, fed you,
Clothed you.
and this is how you repay us, by letting your sister die. "You threw me out when I was 16, I reminded her calmly, "for reporting what Caitlyn did to me." "Lies," Dad shouted. "You were disturbed, making up stories."
We did what was best.
"We had you committed for 3 months." "Yes," I said, steady, "because I finally showed a teacher the bruises and scars Caitlyn gave me. Because I had proof." "Drama queen," Caitlyn wheezed. "Always playing the victim." I ignored her. The hospital records from my stay were clear. The psychiatrist noted no signs of mental illness, that my injuries were consistent with abuse, and that I had been committed to silence me. "Ancient history," Mom waved off. "Your sister needs you now. Family helps family." I tasted the word like something bitter. Was that what we were when Caitlyn broke my arm 3 times? When she spread lies about me at school? "Childish pranks," Dad said. "Kids fight. You're being dramatic." "How long until the results?" I asked Dr. Patel. "About 45 minutes," he said, uncomfortable with the storm unfolding in his department. "Perfect," I said, settling back. "We'll wait while she's dying." Mom gestured wildly at Caitlyn. "Every minute counts. If I'm not a match, every minute of arguing is wasted anyway," I pointed out. "And if the previous test was wrong, we'll know soon enough." "When I get better," Caitlyn said, eyes locked on mine, "I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are. How you made me wait, made me suffer, just to be cruel." "If you get better," I said mildly. Her face twisted with rage. The waiting room fell into a tense, almost peaceful limbo. Threats, guilt trips, revisionist history, all swirled around me. I scrolled through my phone, correcting their lies here and there, mostly just existing in the chaos without letting it touch me. Years of therapy had taught me how. Security arrived 20 minutes later, but Dr. Patel asked them to wait. "The test results will resolve this," he assured them. "You know what I think," Mom said suddenly. You've poisoned her mind against us. Therapists filling her head with victim complexes and false memories. My therapist is excellent, I agreed. She helped me understand that being set on fire by your sister at 12 isn't normal sibling rivalry. You were barely singed, Caitlyn protested. And you posted on Facebook that I did it on purpose, I countered. Screenshots ready. She flinched. Dr. Patel returned, holding several papers and an expression I couldn't read. I have the results, Dr. Patel said, but first I need to ask, Amara, are you aware of any discrepancies in your family history? My mother went still. What kind of discrepancies? The genetic panel shows something unusual, he said carefully. Amara, you're correct. You're not a compatible bone marrow donor for Caitlyn, but the reason is unexpected. Just say it, I urged, though my heart raced at the look on my mother's face. You're not biological sisters, Dr. Patel said. In fact, there's no genetic relationship at all. Not half-siblings, not cousins. No blood relation whatsoever. The silence that followed was deafening. I looked at my parents, the people I had called my parents, and watched the color drain from their faces. That's impossible, Dad said, but his voice lacked conviction. The test is conclusive, Dr. Patel confirmed. I ran it twice to be sure. I laughed, a mix of hysteria and vindication bubbling up. Oh my God, I said. I'm adopted. I'm actually adopted, and you never told me. Don't be ridiculous, Mom said, but her hands shook. Caitlyn used to tell everyone I was adopted, I continued, pieces finally falling into place. She said my real parents were criminals, that you took me in out of charity. I thought she was just cruel, but she knew, didn't she? Shut up, Caitlyn hissed. That's why you always treated me differently. Why nothing I did was ever good enough. Why you believed her over me every single time. I wasn't your real daughter. I was just a placeholder. A charity case. Mom's mask cracked. We gave you everything Caitlyn had. No, I said. You gave me a roof, food, clothes, but not love, trust, or protection because I wasn't really yours. Your best included letting your real daughter torture me for 16 years. I turned to Dr. Patel. Thank you for the test. Please document that I'm not a match and never will be. Without a genetic relationship, I'm definitively ruled out as a donor. Yes, he confirmed. Without any genetic relationship, compatibility is nearly impossible. Wait, Caitlyn wheeled forward. You could still get tested. Stranger matches happen. You could still save me. I looked at her, really looked. Dying had softened some features, but not the cruelty. She was the same person who'd made my childhood a living hell, enabled every step of the way by parents who knew I wasn't really theirs. I could, I said. But I won't. Amara, Mom gasped. I can and I will. I interrupted, gathering my things. You taught me that family helps family, but you also taught me through 16 years of actions that I'm not family. By your logic, I owe you nothing. You vindictive little, Dad started. Adopted, I corrected. I'm vindictive and adopted. Apparently, everyone knew but me. We were going to tell you, Mom said desperately. When you were older, when you could understand. I'm 31, I said. We were protecting me from what? The truth? Or from having any legal claim to find my real family? I pulled out my phone. It doesn't matter now. What matters is that I finally know why. Why you never loved me. Why you threw me away the second I became inconvenient. Why you're here demanding I save the daughter you actually wanted. Please, Caitlyn said for the first time genuinely. Yes, I said simply. You are. And I'm living without any of you. I turned to leave, but Mom grabbed my arm. You can't just walk away after everything we did for you. Everything you did? I yanked free. You mean the bare minimum required for a child you adopted, probably for the tax benefits. How dare you? How dare I what? Tell the truth. Refuse to be manipulated. Save myself instead of the person who tried to destroy me. I looked at them one last time. You made your choices. You chose Caitlyn over me every single time. Now live with those choices. Security escorted them out as they screamed threats and curses. I stayed to ensure my non-donor status was properly documented. Dr. Patel lingered. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "Finding out this way, it must be difficult." "Actually," I said, surprising myself, "it's a relief. 31 years wondering what was wrong with me. Now I know there was nothing wrong. I was just playing a game I could never win." "Will you search for your biological family?" "Maybe," I said. "But first, I'm going to celebrate. I'm free. For the first time in my life, completely free. No guilt, no obligation to people who never wanted me." 6 months later, Caitlyn survived thanks to a stranger match. My parents tried reaching out through every channel. I ignored them all. Eventually, I requested my adoption records. I learned I hadn't been adopted as a baby, but at age 2, after my biological parents died in an accident. My adoptive parents had been friends of friends, looking for a child after Caitlyn, motivated partly by tax benefits. My birth name was Luna. My parents had hoped I'd bring light to dark places. I kept Amara as my legal name, but added Luna as a middle name, a reminder of my origins and who I was meant to be. A year later, I saw my adoptive mother passing a coffee shop window. She pressed her hand against the glass and mouthed, "I'm sorry." I nodded once, accepting it silently.
She walked on.
I returned to my book, my coffee, my chosen family, my life. Some bridges, once burned, light the way to better places. Some truths, however painful, set you free. I was adopted. I was unwanted. I was abused. But I was also strong. I was worthy. I was free. And that was more than enough.